The introduction.
Again, thank you, Phil, for attending today. As I've researched, well, I saw when they were searching for you as the superintendent, and you previously were at Andover High School as the principal from 2015 until we stole you. And then prior to that, you began your career as an art teacher and department head of Timberlane Regional High School in Plastown, New Hampshire. You have an undergraduate from the University of Massachusetts Amherst in Fine Arts. And you've taught several years at Hamilton Wenham High School and was the principal of Rockport Middle High School before moving to Andover. And you've also led to Essex County High School as a member of the State Education Department Kaleidoscope Collection Cohort. And so having lived on the North Shore for many, many years, someday we could maybe talk as to how we both ended up in Bedford.
Sounds great.
Phil.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Yes, so I grew up in Wakefield. So the Middlesex County is not completely new to me, but certainly coming to Bedford has been a new experience. I had worked so much in Essex County and then obviously in New Hampshire. So this has been a really wonderful experience for me to come to this area and to be the superintendent, which I have to say, I still, when somebody says the superintendent, I still look around a little bit because I'm still not used to that as the title. So that's a little bit, I'm getting used to it, but it's definitely different than anything I've experienced. And one of the other things, just Nancy, the reason I've had sauerkraut so much is my wife and I lived in Austria. I taught there in Austria, and we lived in Salzburg. So I had plenty of opportunity to have sauerkraut. With lots of different sausages, not necessarily Italian sausages, but sausages nonetheless. So we had a great opportunity there. But yeah, so I just wanted to, if it's okay, I'm gonna share my screen. I've got a little, couple of slides, not much, but I wanted to just give you a sense of some of the things. Let me do this.
Some of the things is an understatement. So
yeah, I know. Can you see? There we go.
Yeah, we can.
You see that? Okay, perfect. So yeah, I've been in. It's funny because the time flies, as we all know. I've now been in this education business for a long, long time. Not that I didn't expect it, and I certainly, if you had told me when I started teaching that I was going to become a superintendent, I would have told you were crazy. If you had told me I was going to become a principal, I'd have told you were crazy. I loved my classroom, loved, and still really enjoy that part of it. That everything I do, regardless of what my leadership is really about the classroom. And I have great stories about when I was an assistant principal, having had opportunities to teach life through my content area of art and literature. I found that as an assistant principal, you're teaching life directly, right? Because you're helping kids to make different choices than the ones they made. And that was a lot of fun. And so this is really, as a principal and now as a superintendent, it's really creating the environment where kids and teachers can have those relationships and really have all of the things that they need. So I'm excited to be doing that. I'm excited to have that opportunity. First, I want to say thank you. Rotary is an incredible group. Every Rotarian I've ever met has been an amazing person who has really taken the time to put service to others above themselves. And I know that's your motto. And I just think it's an amazing group. I know that service organizations right now are having a difficult time because people seem to be too busy. But I really appreciate that you guys are taking the time and making it happen for the kids in the community, for the worldwide community. The Rotarians do amazing work all over the world, and I'm just happy to have been a part of it with some of the things. that I've been involved in, and I wanted to just share that. So this is obviously August when I got to meet some of you in person and say thank you for the masks. And Victor, thank you. I know I got your email just recently, and I know that you have some more masks for us, and we're really excited about that. So that we can offer them to all of our employees, to all of our students, to any of our visitors, our bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, custodians, so that we have plenty on hand for everybody. And it's really, it's made a big difference for us. We have, and I have to say this again, this is part of the community of Bedford that I've been so impressed with. We have been able to provide for our community, whether it's the PPEs that you guys donated or PPEs that we were able to purchase. We've also been able to provide air purification systems for all of our classrooms, all of our offices, all the spaces where students and teachers or counselors are working together. Each one of them has an air purifier, so depending upon the size, and that's pretty amazing. We've also been able to retrofit all of our HVAC systems with updated, upgraded filtration. And that's been a pretty amazing thing as well, because a lot of other school districts have not been able to do that. They've had to, rely on outside air. We can do outside air. We have the purified air, plus we have the HVAC systems working at a higher rate. So I really feel fortunate. And so I appreciate all that you guys have done for us in that area, but also in a number of other areas. So I wanted to just give you a sense, excuse me, of my interactions with the Rotary clubs. So I was in Hamilton Wenham for many, many years. I was there as a department head, an assistant principal, and an associate principal. And I had a great deal of opportunity to work with the Hamilton Wenham Rotary Club and worked a lot with the Rotary Youth Exchange, which was one of only 2 exchanges that we accepted as a school district. And that was because of the supports that are in place for a Rotary exchange student. So they had, obviously they had you guys as the club. They also had a mentor, they had a family. And so it was really a nice opportunity for the students who came in to really become members of our school community almost right away. And then what I really like is the Interact clubs that I've had opportunities to deal with. We had an Interact club in each of the different schools that I was in. Andover had a huge club of 120 students, which was amazing. And then all of the community and interaction, the international projects that Rotary is involved in and that students would get involved in. So whether it was raising money to send overseas, particularly for clean water and things like that in Africa, or it was creating opportunities for kids to get together and meet kids from other communities that were different than them. And then there was finally a project that our students in Andover did where they worked with the Boston Public Schools, and they fundraised and purchased laptop computers for elementary school students. And that was a really fun project to be involved with as well. So I've had a lot of experience with Rotary, and I've really always enjoyed my time with Rotary because of the nature of the interactions, the way people are always looking to see if they can help, how they can help and make things better for other people. And I think that's really always been the most amazing thing. So this brings us to where we are right now. And obviously I'm sitting in my office. We're not sitting together having a meal, which is too bad, but you know, it is what it is right now. So this school year has been obviously very challenging with the COVID situation that we've got. We created a plan back in August to bring our students back. So our students are back either in a hybrid situation, or if the parents and families felt more comfortable, they were in a remote situation where they're being taught by our Bedford teachers. And they're being taught our curriculum. So whether they're a student from Boston, Hanscom, or Bedford, they're having their own teachers with their own curriculum. And the most wonderful part about that is how difficult it is and how financially difficult it is, and yet how much support we've had from the community to be able to do it. And that's made all the difference in the world for the students, and that's really been amazing. So we're really very, very fortunate to have had that and to continue to have that support as we move forward. So as we keep going, obviously we continue to have our students. We'll bring our high school students back on Friday, which we're very excited about. And we continue to use the CDC's 6-foot guidance. And that really is the baseline by which we do everything else. So the number of students that we have in a classroom really is contingent on that. And so I think that, we've been trying to make sure that we keep everybody safe by having hand sanitizing, the masks, and the 6-foot distancing. So that's really been, the key. It's also been really important to have everybody working together and understanding what it is that we're trying to do, how we're trying to do it, and if they think that we can do better, to really listen and try to work on making things better for the students, whether it's our youngest learners or it's our students with special needs or who need English language support. So we've been really working to expand that. So we started out, you'll remember we started out with 3 or 4 cohorts back in the day. We've expanded one of our cohorts. We've actually created a 5th cohort for our most needy students who actually come in on Wednesdays when everybody else is remote. So we continue to expand, we continue to evolve, if you will. And so we're continually working on all of those things. So this is a print, a Japanese print, and it's one that I've been using all year to describe the year. So you can see in the foreground is the wave and the boats. But if you look in the background, you can see Mount Fuji. And so we always are trying to do both things, keep our eyes on the waves that are right here in front of us, but never losing track of where we want to get to, which is the Mount Fuji in the background. If we lose focus on one or the other, we're going to be capsized, and certainly we don't want that. So we've been using this image as our sort of our model for what we're trying to do, and it's being flexible, trying to make sure that we're doing both things at the same time, and trying to get used to this ambiguous world that we live in, because we don't know necessarily what's going to come next or how it's going to affect us, or when somebody says something and everybody starts to jump on it, but they leave out one little detail like 6-foot distancing. So everybody said, oh, we can all go back to school now. And we say, well, it need to be 6-foot distance. So, those are the kinds of things that we're constantly reminding and expanding and trying to do within this environment that is very, 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 very flexible, and at the same time very volatile. So we're continuing to use this as our image, and it's been worked out so far, because I was really trying to find, as a former art teacher, trying to find a visual that would take you immediately to what it's been like for all of us. And this could be for school, it could be for home, it could be for family, it could be for just about anything, because I think that's where we're all at this point. So as you know, we reopened schools. We had our district task force. We had our administrative team. Each of the buildings had a task force. And then most importantly, and again, this is the difference here in Bedford, is we had implementation teams that were made up of teachers who could really help us with the nitty gritty of what would work and what wouldn't work. And so that was really what we did in July and August. We set the course in July and August. We solidified the plan with the school committee, the community, the teachers association, and those were some really hard, months. People are always like, oh, I can't imagine what it's like to become a new superintendent. And the good news is I don't know any better. So I don't know. I don't know what it's like to have a normal July, but this was not a normal July, nor was it a normal August. So, but we did it. We got our plan solidified, and we opened school in mid-September. We took the beginning of September as the State Department of Education allowed us to really get our teachers ready to go to reopen in this hybrid model. All of our teachers feel like new teachers. It's really hard for them because it's new. And so they don't feel like they're the experts that they normally feel like. And that's hard. And so no matter how much you say to them, you're doing a great job, you are making this happen. Kids are learning, kids are loving it. They don't feel it in their bones, and that's been really hard for them. And it's been really hard for all of us as we continually say to them, no, you are doing a great job. You really are. So that's we're trying to help them take care of themselves, help them take care of the kids, and just make sure they feel like they're doing a great job. So we had Tuesday off last week. We'll have Wednesday off this week. And I think that's going to be really helpful for people as they have a little bit of downtime, a little bit of family time. And then obviously Thanksgiving, at least they'll have some downtime if they don't necessarily have face-to-face time with families. So we're into October, November. We've had to go remote, but we're doing great as a community. So we're excited to come back. And so that's really, those are the kinds of things we've been working on. And so that's really where we're at. But I love, more importantly than anything else, my preference is always to answer the questions that you guys have so that you walk away with the information that you need or want, as opposed to the information that I might think you want. So I'm happy to answer any questions about me, about our schools, about where we're at with all of the different things. So I'm happy to answer any questions.